Hi everybody, how are you? It is Wednesday, it's raining here in our city, and it is the perfect day to use up the Smithfield honey glazed ham. We are going to have today as our third meal using the ham, tomato soup with grilled and ham and cheese grilled sandwiches. So let me show you how I'm going to be making the soup to start with. I'm going to be using these whole peeled tomatoes. These have been hanging out in my pantry since early spring. I have two left after these went on sale for 37 cents at the time, and I got 10 tins, so it was a great stock up price. I also want to show you that this little tip, it is the peeled garlic. It comes in individual little packets inside. There was 9 in total. Don't worry about the little color of these. These are coming out of my freezer. So when I see anything like this and it's on sale, I use my freezer like a pantry. So today I will be using a whole one of these little packets. As you can see, it's frozen. I'll leave it out on the countertop to defrost for a little while. I'm also using 2 onions, 3 carrots, and then I have 2 spring onions that they're still good, but they're not like perfect. So I'll be chopping them up as well. I had no basil on hand dried, and neither does the supermarket or fresh. I had to go in and get this. So I have chose this. It's Italian parsley, rosemary, and thyme. And then when I opened it up, I was really disappointed because the parsley part looked like this inside, like it's wilted, right? It's not good. But the rosemary and thyme is good. So I picked up a whole head of fresh parsley. Doesn't that look beautiful? It's so green. So at the end of making the soup today, I will also be, when it's already boiled down, and after I put it through the liquidizer, I will be adding a cup of sour cream into it, and then re-seasoning for taste, like with salt and pepper and all those things, to make sure it has a good taste. And then I will be around 4 o'clock today, I will start compiling the cheese and ham sandwiches for our dinner, because our boys leave for scouts just around 6 o'clock. So follow along. First up, I am just sweating down the onions and this scallion, spring onion, just to get it all down. I'm just about to pop in the garlic because they're kind of getting a little shiny, and I will be popping in the garlic now. Just going to use my handy dandy garlic press. So I have all the garlic crushed up, and it's gone into the pot. I'm just going to let that, I lowered it down a little bit, and I'm just going to let it sweat away while I peel the carrots. I have just chopped up the carrots. Some of them I cut into smaller chunks because they were pretty big. And I'm just going to pop them in on top of the onions, right in on top. And just give them a stir in. Now the carrots will cook down with the tomato, with the whole tomatoes, because there'll be some liquid in there. You can see where the garlic is kind of coating all the carrots now. This is going to be some really hearty soup. So when you are making a soup at home, make sure that you're using up all the ingredients in your fridge. Anything that's not like, you know, it has a day or 2 shelf life, any fresh vegetables, spices, anything else that you can put into a soup, pop it in there, because you're practicing zero food waste while you are feeding your family, and it's not going to the landfill, okay? And that's really, really important. And I'll show you at the end. This is going to be a very large pot of soup. We won't be able to consume it all today, but I'll show you at the end how I store it for going forward. I have the first tin opened. Look at how beautiful they are. Really fresh and gorgeous. So I'm just going to pour that on top of the bubbling carrots and onions. And so that will be the first. I'm going to put 4 in total. Just about to put the last tin in. So that will be 4 pounds of tomatoes going into the pot. I'm just going to let them, I'm going to give them a good stir, but then I'm going to just let them sweat in the juices and render down. You know, you can see the beautiful carrot and onion and spring onion scallion coming up. So just gonna let all that sweat for a little bit, probably about an hour with a lid on top. See all the fresh, beautiful garlic. So I put the rosemary in whole, and I'll pull it out at the end. And I put the thyme just sprinkled on top. I shredded it. There's some very, very fine little stalks, but I'm going to be blending that, so you won't even feel it. But anything that was woody or anything like that, I cut off. So the kitchen has taken on the aromas now. So I'm just going to pop these down. So it'll be very flavorful soup. And all that rosemary twigs will come off at the end, and I'll take them out and discard of them. It's just to take on the delicious scents of the herb. Yeah, I wish you could smell this. It hasn't even come to a rolling boil yet, and it's delicious. I'm already salivating for my dinner for tonight. Just remembered that I have a quarter of a little bag of spinach left in the freezer. It's all nice icy cold, but I'm going to pop this on top of the soup. Just like that. And I'll pop it down, and it will just, the hot sauce will help it melt. Or defrost, I suppose. It's not melting. But yeah, I feel like ratatouille in the kitchen. But yeah, all the different flavors are going to marry together, and this is going to be magnifico. All right, I'm going to put the lid on it now and let it come to a rolling boil, and then I will turn it down. So we're on a nice rolling boil, and the tomatoes are starting to break down. Exactly what we're looking for. So I'm going to give it a good stir from the bottom. And see all the beautiful ingredients coming together and rendering down. That's the spinach, carrot, onions. So you can see the garlic there, all the little garlic pods. The smell is divine. Really, really nice. I'm really looking forward to dinner tonight, but I'm going to leave it. I'm going to put the lid back on and just let it do its thing naturally. I have it on a low simmer, so it'll be nice to pop the lid on. See you in a bit. So now everything is fully cooked, and just the consistency that we're looking for. Look, everything looks amazing. I turned off electricity on it, and I'm going to put it on the back burner because I'm going to let it cool for the next hour. It's now 2:14 in the afternoon. And so I'll let it cool for an hour, and then I will liquidize it. And then after I do that, I will strain it to make sure that I get off any stalks or anything that was from the herbs. So you wouldn't want that in your soup. It would be unpleasant eating it. And then I will start compiling the grilled cheeses for our dinner. But I'm very happy with how it has came out so far. Looks delicious. Yeah, so the soup is cool enough that I am going to put it through the mixer, and then I will sieve it. I'm going to use a jug to pick it up, and I'll show you the process. I think 2 jugs should be enough to get started, but you don't want it too full because it will splash out on you. And be careful and that you are holding the lid down. So that was the first 2 cups going in, and just use a last lick to stir it in. Put it through your strainer. It'll come out the other end really nice. The soup is done, and I have a pot of hot water, salt and pepper and garlic, and I'm adding in 2 boxes of penny into the water. I'm just going to give it a quick stir because the soup is divine, but no, there's no buts here. The soup strained, absolutely magnificent, and it actually left behind a marinara sauce. Yeah, and I'm super excited about that. So I'm making 2 boxes of this, and I'm going to make baked pasta bake. So with the marinara sauce that I just made, and I'll show you. Let me bring it over and show you. So I have 2 large jugs of tomato soup, all strained and beautiful. And then in the blender, I have the marinara sauce. I kept reblending it and until it became the consistency of the marinara, and I'm just going to be putting it over the penny in a little while. So from one dish, we will be having multiple feasts. I also have, this is the bread I just took out of the freezer. Let me bring it over here so you can see it, okay? So the bread was on sale for 70 cents. Let's see what type of bread it is. It is French. I'm going to be putting the Smithfield honey baked ham on this with mozzarella cheese and a few other things that I'm going to find in the fridge. I don't know what I have in there right now, but and a few other things too. I think I have some red onion. I know I have some red onion. Don't know thinking about it. And then this will be baked in the oven, so that will be our dinner tonight. The lovely big sub with the tomato soup, and then tomorrow, or for lunches or even for the freezer, we'll have the marinara sauce. And this is the consistency of the marinara sauce. It came out magnificent because, you know, there was, you know, not only tomatoes, there was carrots, onions, the 2 scallions. What else was it? There was garlic, all the herbs. Yeah, it looks magnificent. So that's going to go over the penny. And yeah, very, very happy with that. And just so we're not, you know, forgetting real life, when you are using the blender, make sure you put the lid on and make sure you put a towel on top. Look how revolting this towel is. It's just sauce. It'll be okay. But I've got a bit of clean up, all these jugs to clean up, strainer, poles, but there's the glory. Looks so beautiful. It's 9 cups of tomato soup, so it's a lot of soup. So I'm now filling up my mason jars with the soup. Gotta go slow. It's hard to video and do it at the same time, but here you go. So remember not to fill it to the top. These are 1 cup mason jars, so this will be perfect for going into the freezer for lunches next week. So I just emptied the first big jug, and I have these ready to go into the freezer for next week or maybe the week after, because our weather is still extremely hot, but autumn is coming, so we'll be ready. Doesn't it look good? They look delicious. Look. When I heat these up, I will pop a blob of mozzarella cheese on top and toast it, so it'll be really nice, and a little bit of like a homemade crouton. Have it back on the heat just to take out all the extra moisture. This was seasoned with black pepper, oregano, Italian seasoning, and garlic salt. And now I'm just going to pour in the homemade marinara sauce. I'm going to do half the jug first. Just let's see how we get on, because it's a lot. Let's see how we get on. But we like our pasta coated. We don't like bare or naked. How some people like it. Some people like a lot, and some people like, you know, a little. But what I was going to tell you, Bart came out of his office. He works from home, and he was just telling me that don't forget to share that the pasta was on sale for 60 cents, and we used 2 boxes. So this big pot cost $1.20 to make the pasta in here, which was really good. I think we're going to add a little bit more. What do you think, guys? Needs a little bit more, right? Yeah. So we have 7 tomato soups, 4 baked penny pastas. I'll pop a salad in here. I'll heat it up and I'll pop a salad inside and a snack you know, maybe a chocolate chip cookie or whatever I have on hand. These are going into the freezer. One big family size tray and I have two family size trays and things, so they're going to go straight into the freezer for next week, because remember, we're eating the honey baked Smithfield ham this week. And then one homemade jar of marinara, so it's really thick. That's what coated this, and there was one jar left, so I'm really happy. I just have to find a cover for that, and yeah, and then I have to get to cleaning this kitchen and then start the subs, and we are ready to have our dinner. I found some space in the inside freezer, pop those in, but guess what else I found in here? Look at, so definitely I'll have cookies to go in with this, and we have loads of salad-y things, so we should have enough to have a nice salad, some pasta bake, and a chocolate chip cookie for lunch over the weekend. So here's the ingredients I'm going to be using for our dinner tonight to go along with the homemade tomato soup. So on the side we have the Smithfield honey baked ham. We have a lot here with beautiful big slices. We have some plant-based classic ranch. It looks like, it's kind of like hummus. Some red onions, black pepper, some garlic salt, and then we have mozzarella cheese at 30% off. It was $4.29. If you are buying something and it's on yellow sticker, don't be like, oh, I'll never consume it. Divide it and pop it into your freezer. Cheese in the freezer works out amazing. Nearly 90% of what you put in the freezer comes out perfectly. This piece of French bread was taken out of the freezer this morning to thaw. As you can see, it was 70 cents. So I'm going to start compiling what we're going to have on our sandwich right now. And I'm going to do half and half, because Bar and I like the red onions, the boys do not. But you know, you got to do what you got to do. I put a generous helping on the bread of the plant-based classic ranch dip, and just spread it all over. Next up, I'm having the slices of the mozzarella and laying them down on this side of the bread. Actually, probably put another one right here. Let's move this up a little bit. You want it nice and yummy. So I'll put another one right here. There we go, much better. And put a nice big helping of the Smithfield ham on top. It looks really delicious. And then I'm going to add salt and pepper. Have it all nicely seasoned. So I cut up another slice of the mozzarella cheese to make it really gooey. And I put the onions on this side. And I've tucked some onions down underneath the ham as well. I'm about to fold this in half, put it on a hot sheet. So I have a baking sheet in the oven at 400 degrees heating up. So when this bread hits it, it'll start to sizzle. So this is what it looks like inside. All delicious. Look, the bread is beautiful. I'm going to turn this now onto the baking sheet and put it straight into a 400 degree oven on the top shelf for about 9 minutes. But keep an eye on it, because you don't want your bread getting hard. You want it all to be toasty and delicious so you can dip it in your soup. Okay, so it's all ready to go in on the top shelf. Ooh, the heat coming out is gorgeous. So straight in it goes.